श्री महाभारत कथा। श्री महाभारत कथा। महाभारत कथा। कथा है पुरुषार्थ की, ये स्वार्थ की, परमार्थ की सारथी जिसके बने श्री कृष्ण भारत पार्थ की। शब्द दिग्घोषित हुआ जब सत्य सार्थक सर्वथा। शब्द दिग्घोषित हुआ। यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत, अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्। परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां, धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे।
And the lovely child grew up in his holy habitation, the noble-minded and blessed Rishi Stulakesa, performing in due succession all the ceremonies beginning with that at birth, as ordained by the divine law. And the pious Ruru, having seen Padmadvara in the hermitage of Stulakesa, became one whose heart was pierced by the god of love. And the beautiful virgin, while at play with companions of her own sex, her time having come, impelled by fate, trod upon a serpent which she did not perceive as it lay in coil. And the reptile, urged to execute the will of fate, violently darted its envenomed fangs into the body of the heedless maiden. And stung by that serpent, she instantly dropped senseless on the ground. Her color faded, and all the graces of her person went off. And she who was so agreeable to behold became on her death what was too painful to look at. And her foster father and the other holy ascetics who were there all saw her lying motionless upon the ground with the splendor of a lotus. And remembering his beloved Padmadvara, he gave vent to his sorrow in the following words: "Alas, the delicate fair one that increaseth my affliction lieth upon the bare ground." And when they saw that maiden lying dead on the ground, overcome with the poison of the reptile that had bitten her, they all wept, filled with compassion. And overwhelmed with grief, he indulged in much piteous lamentation. And remembering his beloved Padmadvara, he gave vent to his sorrow in the following words: "Alas, the delicate fair one that increaseth my affliction lieth upon the bare ground." Nay, And while Ruru was indulging in these lamentations for the loss of his bride, a messenger from heaven came to him in the forest and addressed him thus: "The words thou utterest, O Ruru, in thy affliction are certainly ineffectual." Nay, thou. And Ruru replied, "O messenger of heaven, what is that which the gods have ordained?" What can be more deplorable to us, our friends? If I have been charitable, if I have performed acts of penance, if I have ever revered my superiors, let the merit of these arts restore to life my beloved one. And while Ruru was indulging in these lamentations for the loss of his bride, a messenger from heaven came to him in the forest and addressed him thus: "The words thou utterest, O Ruru, in thy affliction, are certainly ineffectual." The great gods, however, have provided beforehand a means of her restoration to life. And if thou complyest with it, thou mayest receive back thy Pramadvara. Tell me in full, so that, on hearing, I may comply with it. It behoveth thee to deliver me from grief. And the celestial messenger said unto Ru, Resign half of thy own life to thy bride, and then, O Ru of the race of Brigu, thy Pramadvara shall rise from the ground. O best of celestial messengers, I most willingly offer a moiety of my own life in favor of my bride. Then the king of Gandharvas, the father of Pramadvara, and the celestial messenger, both of excellent qualities, went to the god Dharma, the judge of the dead, and addressed him, saying, If it be thy will, O Dharmaraja, let the amiable Pramadvara, the betrothed wife of Ruru, now lying dead, rise up with a moiety of Ru's life. Nihao. Nini. And Dharmaraja answered, O messenger of the gods, if it be thy wish, let Pramadvara, the betrothed wife of Ru, rise up endued with a moiety of Ru's life. Nim. And on an auspicious day, their fathers gladly married them with due rites. And the couple passed their days, devoted to each other. And Ru, having obtained such a wife, as is hard to be found, beautiful and bright as the filaments of the lotus, made a vow for the destruction of the serpent race. And there he saw an old serpent of the Dandubha species lying stretched on the ground. And Ru thereupon lifted up in anger his staff, even like to the staff of death, for the purpose of killing it. Then the Dandubha, addressing Ru, said, I have done thee no harm, O Brahmana. Then wherefore wilt thou slay me in anger? And Ru, on hearing those words, replied, My wife, dear to me as life, was bit by a snake. Upon which I took, O snake, a dreadful vow, viz., that I would kill every snake that I might come across. Now, it under me. Therefore shall I smite thee, and thou shalt be deprived of life. And the Dandubha replied, O Brahmana, the snakes that bite men are quite different in type. It behoveth thee not to slay Dandubhas who are serpents only in name, subject like other serpents to the same calamities, but not sharing their good fortune, in woe the same, but in joy different. The Dandubhas should not be slain by thee under any misconception. And Ru, the possessor of the 6 attributes, comforting the snake, addressed it, saying, Tell me fully, O snake, who art thou thus metamorphosed? And the Dandubha replied, O Ru, I was formerly a Rishi by name Sahasrapat. And it is by the curse of a Brahmana that I have been transformed into a snake. And the Rishi Ru, hearing these words of the serpent, and seeing that it was bewildered with fear, albeit a snake of the Dandubha species, killed it not. And one day, when he was engaged in the Agni-hotra, fire sacrifice, I made a mock snake of blades of grass, and in a frolic attempted to frighten him with it. On recovering his senses, that truth-telling and vow-observing ascetic, burning with wrath, exclaimed, Since thou hast made a powerless mock snake to frighten me, thou shalt be turned even into a venomless serpent thyself by my curse. And seeing me sorely troubled, the ascetic was moved, and he replied, breathing hot and hard. And so ends the 10th section of the Paloma Parva of the Adi Parva. The Dandubha then said, In former times, I had a friend Kagama by name. Ni Bansensao.
की है कहानी,